to continue on looking at family law for paralegal counselors. And we are going to look at child abuse. As we know that the challenge of street kids and other devices that has got influence on the children, it is because of child abuse. So what does the law provide for the protection of the children? So as paralegal counselors, it is very important to know and understand the legal framework over child abuse. So let us be set and enjoy the lesson with here is the host, Dr. Tulipo Mwenifumbo.
So let's define these two terms, child and abuse. Who is a child? Um, According to the definition of a child, it's someone who is between the age of 0 up to the age of 18 years and going up to sometimes some laws they even give up to the age of 21 years. But mostly a child is someone who is between the age of 0 to 20 to 18 years. Now, again, there is also another definition of a child whereby a child is someone who is between the age of 0 and the age of 16 years. So there are three types of child ages which is considered as a child. Number one, anyone who is below 16 years is a child. Then someone who is below 18 years is a child, and someone who is below 21 years. Now, these legislations, they have got there is the graduation or the perspective on what the privilege of the child and what that child cannot have privilege. Yes. So, when we talk about child abuse, now abuse um, it is considered that any act or failure to act by parents or caregivers that results in actual or potential harm to a child and can occur in a child. So when anything that is put on the child that has got the potential to destroy or to make that child sad or to affect the future of that child, that is child abuse. So anything that can be done which can be harmful to a child, present or future, it can be in the category of child abuse. So when we talk about the law of child abuse, we are talking about the physical, emotional, sexual neglect, abandonment of children. So when we talk about physical abuse, we are talking about like beating the child, inflicting injury on the child, giving that child corporal punishment, and other anything that may cause physical pain on the child or create that child to feel the physical pain. That is physical abuse. And there is also the emotional abuse. In the emotional abuse, it is the abuse whereby sentiments to a child, telling the child negative words, telling the child you cannot do anything, talking bad about the parents of the child, talking evil about that child, and making the child's esteem to go down, and making that child to feel unworthy on in this life, and it makes making the child to feel neglected and abandoned. So that is emotional abuse. So when we are talking to a child, insulting the child, talking to the child abusive, speaking things that are going to injure the child, and also taking advantage of the child because he is the child when it comes to words, because he cannot answer me, he cannot do anything, he cannot beat me. That is all considered as child abuse, and it is emotional abuse. Then there is sexual abuse. Sexual abuse is indulging a child into sexual activities or making that child to practice sexual. That is whereby that is introducing a child to sexual activities and also or orienting a child into sexual activities, having sex with a child like according to the law, anyone having the sex with a girl less than 16 years, that is called defilement. Uh, Defilement is only defined to a girl. The funny thing about defilement is that even a 13-year boy can be defiled the 16-year girl. So any sex activity that is done to a girl at the age below the age of 16 years, that is sexual abuse, or any introduction of sex to a child who is below 16 years or who is a girl, it's a sexual abuse. Now also to a boys, it is, although it is 13 years, um, but any sexual activity endangering a boy who is below 13 years, that is also sexual abuse. But any activities that introduces a child to sexual orientation up to the age of 18 years, they are all sexual abuse. That's why at when you look at the films, they'll put what they call PG, parental guidance. So, if the film has got some violence, some sexual activities, they will say this film cannot be watched by someone who is below 16 years, and this film cannot be watched by someone who is below 18 years, and so on. Those are very important. When the film writes PG-16, it is trying to protect by law the mental abuse or emotional abuse of the child, and because what a child listens from and what a child sees, it makes that child to become. So same like if the child is exposed to sexual activities and the fumes that are sexually inducing a child, then that is all sexual um, uh, abuse of the child. So a child should be protected from such activities. So that is sexual abuse of the child. Then there is also neglect. Neglect, it is also a form of child abuse, whereby you as the caregiver, uh, as a guardian, you fail to take care of the child or the children that are under you. That is also child abuse. That is the failure of providing the necessity to the child, and failing to take the child to school, failing to provide food to the child, where the child is forced to go and yeah, get fetch food and all that. That is all considered as child abuse. Abandonment of children, it is also child abuse, whereby you as a mother, you leaving the child who is below the age of 16 years, or you as a father neglecting the child who is at the age of 16, who is below the age of 16 years. That is all child abandonment. So when we talk about child abandonment, it is also a wide thing, because we are talking about this child who needs parental guidance, who needs parental care, who needs the provision from the parent that child cannot fetch for himself or for herself. And you as a parent or you as a guardian, you are unable to provide this to the child. That is child abuse. The there is also like I said abandonment of the child, then endangerment of the child, putting the child in a situation where that child is in danger. It is also child abuse. So, where a child is left in a situation where that child can be abused by anyone, or letting the child or sending the child to do something in the night when it is dark, and that child can be abused, can be beaten, can be stolen, and whatever. So, that is also child abuse. So, well, the rights of the child should be protected, because no one defends the child, and children, they have got no capacity to defend themselves.